Hello everyone, I'm Brendan and welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about 10 side hustles that you can start with $0 or almost nothing. And you can start making real money right away. And some of these I've actually done myself throughout my life, so I'll share those with you now. We're going to start with number 10, so pay attention and stay till the end of the video. They get better as they go. This is a manual labor type job. This is lawn care, which can be basic mowing, it could be weeding, it could be trimming, or a combination of all of those. So what you can do is you can go around to your neighbors with your flyer, make a little flyer, which you can just basically write by hand and make some copies. Or you can just go around and meet people that you're interested in working for and let them know that you can cut their grass. A lot of people will pay at least $30 to get a grass cut for their front yard and backyard, depending on the size. And we're talking about just normal size neighborhoods that you can use a push mower with. If they're bigger yards, you charge more, or if it's a more upscale neighborhood, of course you can charge more. But I would recommend you start a little low so you can get the business going, because if you want to do this on a regular basis, it adds up. $30 4 times a month or something like that can really start putting some money in your pocket, especially if you get a regular group of clients that you work. And you can add to it trimming, you can do weeding, you can do seasonal cleanups, and it's really easy to get started. A lot of people want that kind of help, and the easy way to find the clients is just drive around, look for the grass that's overgrown, and start there. And then once people see that you're out there working, they might come around and ask for your help as well. So that's the first one I would say. Real easy to get going. I think a lot of us have, at some point in our life, went out and had to cut grass, or we've done it for money to try to make some extra money. Okay, that's a good way to get started. If you don't have your own lawn tools, a lot of times the client can lend you theirs to get started, or if you have a friend that's got a lawnmower or rakes and all that, you can borrow that until you have enough money to buy your own. Okay, and number 9, gutter cleaning. This is also a labor job. All you need for this is a ladder, some gloves, and some trash bags. You might want some scooping tools to kind of get things out of the, like small shovels, like a spade or something, to get things out of the gutters if it's really stuck in there. A lot of people don't like cleaning their gutters, and if they don't already have that leaf protection over it, they're going to need somebody to scoop out that gutter, especially during the seasonal periods where the leaves are falling a lot and they get a lot of debris in there. It clogs up the whole gutter system and it overflows, so it defeats the purpose. So they really want to have somebody go in there and clean it out. And a lot of people don't prefer to get up on a ladder and do that. I would recommend that you get some insurance. Make sure you've got some kind of coverage if you're getting up on a ladder. That's going to, help you in case something bad happened along the way. Okay, number 8. House or office cleaning. This is also another job that people don't really want to do themselves, and it's pretty easy to get started. If you have your own tools, you can get out there right away and get started. Otherwise, you may need to borrow your clients' cleaners in the beginning, and you maybe charge less. Let them know, hey, I'm just getting started. I don't really have my own stuff, but if I could use yours, I'll give you a discount on the price until I can get enough money to pay for my own. What you would need is a vacuum. You'd probably need a mop, a broom. You'll need some paper towels, some toilet brushes, and then the chemicals that go with that. Okay, and if you're really into it, you can get some serious money. In the house cleaning and office cleaning space, you could go work for people's residences. You could go to like a dentist office or accounting office or something like that, where they've got people working and nobody there wants to actually do the cleaning, right? And if you really want to scale up, you could go work at cafes and restaurants and clean their bathrooms and that type of thing on a regular basis, earning anywhere from $25 to $50 an hour and more, okay? Okay, here's another one that you can do that's a kind of a labor job, but it's kind of more fun for some people, and it's called painting. You could do interior painting to get started because you don't need a lot of big materials to do the exterior of the house. You can get in there, you'd probably need a step ladder. You need to get some of that blue tape, and then you'll have to have your brushes and your paint. But here's the good part. Once you get your job, you can go buy the materials, okay? So you can get your first payment, a down payment to go buy the paint, and you can also get your brushes and tape at that same time. And hopefully you got like a step ladder so you can get up around the ceiling, edges, and all that. You'll need the brush you'll need the rollers, you'll need brushes and some buckets. Now, I've hired guys before where they do trim paint. All they have is that little tiny bucket and a brush, and they go around and they do the trim, and that's a really great way to get started if you want to just do one part of the painting. Hey, I do trim painting to start, but if you want to do walls and everything, that's really good money. People are always looking for that kind of help. And a lot of places you don't really have to have a separate license to do painting, especially interior painting, but you want to make sure that you're going into neighborhoods that you're safe and you could trust, and you want to actually get your payment up front, at least to cover your materials, and then put it in writing what you're going to get for the finished job, so that at the end you can provide to somebody and say, hey, you need to pay me what you agreed to, okay? All right, next one is pressure washing. And this is actually pretty fun. Pressure washing driveways, sidewalks, and houses is really what I'm talking about. If you don't have your own pressure washer, you can rent them at a Home Depot or Lowe's or another rental area in your rental office in your area. So what you can do there is you get your power washer, you get your chemicals, which is basically the pool cleaner materials, sodium hydroxide. You can get some additional soaps to clean the driveways. And there's a lot of videos out there on YouTube that you can watch to see how to do pressure washing if you haven't already been experiencing it. But it's a lot of fun. It is actually work, because holding that hose, for a few hours, depending on what you're going to do, it can be tiring. I would recommend, if you're doing the surfaces, to get that round surface cleaner. That makes a big difference to get the driveways and sidewalks, and they're not that expensive. For around $100 or so, you can get a decent size one that matches with that. You want to make sure it matches with the pressure washer that you've got, the right PSI, because if your surface cleaner is too small and it can't handle the power of the pressure washer, it will literally break it. So you want to make sure you get the right pairing with that. But that's a great way to make money. Typically you're in at least $100 to $150 to do a driveway. That's pretty good money. House washing, you could probably charge $250 and up, depending on the size of the house. The challenge would be 2-story houses, but there are ways to get around that, especially if you focus on the bottom floor and you're just doing a shot up to the top with the chemical and the rinse. It really doesn't take that much, because the chemical does most of the work. So you're not really, on the house, you're not really trying to get material to be removed from the house. That's only when you have driveway services that you're doing that kind of high power stuff. Okay, next we're going to look at tutoring and lessons, and this is actually something I've done a lot in my life. Starting from when I was younger, I did drum lessons when I was teaching drums. I did martial arts lessons for many years, and other things. I also teach continuing education now in one of my other businesses. So lessons are a great way to make money, because if you can get a class, then you're multiplying. If everybody's paying $50 or $100 or more, you multiply that by 10 or 20 or 30 people that are in the class, and you've made really good money for the time that you're in there. So that's a really good way to do it. But you can certainly start with private lessons, doing math, languages, test preparation. If you know how to play guitar or piano, those are great to teach. And even though there are a lot of online lessons, some people just really like to have a teacher present to help them work through their issues, learning something new, okay? You can also use Zoom or Google Meet or some kinds of online platform if you want to have a webinar type class. So those are great options as well. The other option with that is you can just use an automated classroom experience where you set up the classroom and then you sell the course separately. And that's a big thing in the creator economy now. A lot of people on YouTube and social media platforms are actually selling courses that way, and that can really be big money. Okay, another gig that you can do, which actually is really what I consider the whole start of the gig economy, is music gigs, because that's when I was young playing the drums, we used to always call it a gig when we had a job. Go out and play a gig. We got a gig over here, or this venue is hiring. And so all these little side hustles came, I think, from that kind of mentality where we would just be playing the venue one night or a weekend, and that was the gig. Well, now you have all these other things that people call gigs. It's the same kind of thing. So if you have an instrument that you play, or you sing, or you're somehow involved in musical production, you could be a sound person or an engineer, or even you work lights. There's certainly places you can play all the time. Churches are usually a good place to start if you're involved in that kind of community. There's local venues. Usually they'll have your bars or your venues that are like small restaurants or something, and they may have live entertainment sometimes during the week. Sometimes they have happy hour gigs or later evening gigs. Depends on what you do. If you are able to play a solo act, then that's really golden, because you can go out there without having to worry about other band members, whether they show up or whether they want to be in the act. And you can make the same or more money per person just being there by yourself. But you do need to then bring all the equipment, any kind of PA that you have to contribute that yourself, okay? All right, another one would be bookkeeping services. Now this is going to be a lot less physically intensive, but you do have to have the mindset of how to do the basic accounting, how to reconcile somebody's books. But this can really pay off for you if you enjoy this kind of work, because you can just use an online software like QuickBooks or whatever they might be using in the office. Get in there and you're almost like an employee, but you're an independent contractor. So you come and go as you please, or you actually work out of your own office or your own home office, and you can get clients like, medical offices, dental offices, small restaurants, that kind of thing. Whoever needs that service and doesn't already have it in-house and wants to basically outsource that. And that's pretty easy to get started. You just go around and meet people, get your business card, you do bookkeeping services, and almost every business either has it in-house or they're outsourcing it somewhere. So that's a great one to do too. Okay, website design and social media marketing. This is also really excellent in today's economy, because you can go out and find restaurants or small businesses like dental offices or whatever that need their own presence, and they need somebody to market for them because they're actually doing the work in the business, and they need a specialist that actually works in that social marketing field. So you'd be putting posts out on all their platforms, your Instagram, your Facebook, your X, and of course any kind of YouTube that they would do. You would preferably have these commercials that you can make yourself. Especially if you're good with video, you could actually make some small little commercials. You can go to the restaurant and film around and just put the little snips out there on social media. You can make the website design. You can use any number of these hosting services nowadays, because a lot of them just are template-based website designs, unlike in the beginning of the internet, where everything was where you had to put the HTML coding in. So a lot easier just to go out there and, for example, you set up a hosting or account or something like that, and you can have multiple websites that you manage right there in your account. And of course, if you needed to make additional accounts, you could do that. So you can really scale that up, and that's when you're talking about probably charging hundreds of dollars per month to do social media marketing and website design for companies, especially if you continue to maintain it for them. Okay, so here's the number one, and if you stayed till the video end, I'm so happy, but this is a great one. So pay attention, listen to this one, because you can start this one right out of your garage. And I've seen a lot of guys doing this with their own carpentry tools, where they make small projects. They make custom art things. You could do things that you sell on Etsy, or you can go to your local arts and crafts store and sell items like that. And it could be anything that you can imagine. You could do flower arrangements. You could do knitting. You could do the little quilted patterns. You could do little things you cut out with a router, little wooden crafts that you make. You could paint little signs, like inspirational quotes and that types of thing. Really fantastic and fun business. You can do it yourself to get started, and then if you really start scaling up, you can get people to help you with that. And you can go around, like I said, and meet people. You can go to these local arts and crafts shows that are happening in your area or close by, and you could just sell these little items, and then you can also have your online store as well. So from things like physical labor, like lawn care, to creative skills, you can start most of these with $0 or close to zero and really scale these businesses up. So I hope that you did like the video. Please like and subscribe and comment below. Which one of these was your favorite side hustle? Are you doing any of these along the way? Let me know what you think.